I started playing video games again because I thought about the happiest times of my life. There are two times in particular, two like eras, I'll call them, in particular that made me the happiest in my life. And I've been trying to really like find a way to get all those things. And I'll tell you what those two times were. The first time I can recall that I was at peak happiness was probably my sophomore year of college. My sophomore year of college, the thing that made college, sophomore year of college in particular, so happy for me was, one, I had a good group of friends around me. We always hung out together. Like I can recall to this day, we'd wake up and be like, hey dude, we're gonna get breakfast. Let's go get breakfast together. And we'd all go get breakfast together as a group. 3, 4, 5 of us. And we just sit there and talk. We'd bullshit, have a couple laughs, just talk and hang out. We'd play video games together and just socialize and hang out. Do you remember, depending on like how old you are, there was a time where like you could go to your friend's house and play like N64 or like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, whatever. And there was no wireless way to play. Like you couldn't use Wi-Fi to play with your friend who lives in like a different country or a different state. You had to be like in the same room and play on the exact same console. And as inconvenient as that sounds, that was way more fun. Playing Halo, for example, with your boys in a room together, or playing like Call of Duty with your boys in a room together is exponentially more fun than playing Call of Duty or Halo over Wi-Fi, or playing like some game over Wi-Fi. There's just something different about it. Something different about being in a room with your friends and talking shit, getting mad, raging at the game, you know, whatever it is, playing together. It's just a different feeling. It cannot be replicated by the internet. So that was one thing that made sophomore year like one of the peaks of happiness in my life. Second thing, we didn't overcomplicate basic activities. What I mean by this is it could be a Friday night, and back then we would say to each other, let's do something. And immediately we could find something to do. Now that thing might be just watching a movie, getting Chinese food. I remember that, like, this sounds crazy. That was one of the most fun things ever. Just like it was a Friday night and you just want to get like Chinese food with your boys and watch a movie. That was by far one of the most fun things ever because it was just something about that experience that was great. But it wasn't complicated. Or you go to the mall, watch a movie. There's like some rinky-dink mall my sophomore year. And there's nothing at that mall. There were like no stores at all. And there was like a movie theater. And that was about it. That was like the most fun thing at the mall was the movie theater. But it was something fun about like setting a plan with your friends, saying like, hey, 8 o'clock, there's this new movie out. We haven't seen the trailers, but the title sounds good. Let's go watch it. And your boys are like, there's nothing else to do. Why not? You just go, you all pack into one car, 4, 5, or 6 of you. You drive down to the movie theaters, you watch it, and you come back, and for like 3 or 4 hours, you talk about the movie that you just watched. That was like peak fun. I would say like really what it comes down to is you're just hanging out with people, with friends. You're socializing with friends. That's really it. You're bonding with people. That's what made it fun. Second time in my life that was super fun was, I think it was my, I forget what year it was. Maybe it was 2014-ish, something like that. The summer of like 2014. And I had a house with my one friend. We kind of had a house the entire summer to ourselves. And we would just throw parties and like work and hang out, whatever, like watch TV together. Again, it was just socializing. It was just people bonding and hanging out. And that was to me the most fun thing you could ever possibly do. I think if you were to say to me, like having my experiences now, Lenny, I can give you the opportunity to relive those experiences, or I can give you like $5 million in cash. A part of me from a logical standpoint might say the 5 million, because with the 5 million, maybe I could like pay to get my friends to hang out with me. Not really, probably in real life. So I'd probably take reliving those experiences because they were like the peak fun. Like there's no bar that can replicate that. There's no club that can replicate that. There's no cars that can replicate that. There's no luxury item that you can possibly buy that replicates the feeling of just bonding with your friends and just hanging out in like a super social close setting. It cannot be replicated. And the crazy part is it doesn't require money.